Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. It's been a while since I posted. I've actually been out sick the last couple of weeks. It's just a regular cold, not COVID, but I sounded horrible and so I didn't want to put you through that. And now my voice is getting back to normal and so I have something I want to share with you. This video is going to be sort of a raw cut. I'm just going to go through things. Usually I do a lot of post-production and I really like to make the production value pretty good for you. But it's Halloween night as I'm recording this and we're getting ready to go out. I gotta dress up as Wreck-It Ralph, and so I do have something I want to share with you, and I wanted to get this out by my Tuesday morning deadline, and so we're just gonna go for it. So what I want to show you is how to do a hidden hyperlink, and this could be a really fun activity for something like a scavenger hunt. If you wanted to put clues and have your students search for hidden things on your Canvas page, then you can actually do that. Hyperlinks by default, they tend to be ostentatious because the purpose of a hyperlink is that it should be clicked, and so the viewer, the student, should know that it's clickable, and we're going to try and get around that. So check out this page here. I have some content, a hidden hyperlink, blah 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 blah. As I'm scrolling over this with my cursor, there's actually a hyperlink somewhere here. It's not very obvious, but if you know where to look, then you might see it. So look really closely as I move my cursor over this first thing of words. Did you see that? It was very subtle, but take a look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen as I do it again. I'm going to go between the third and the fourth words, and you can see there's a hidden hyperlink right there. It's actually not even a word, it's a space. And you might want to do this with a word. You can have a hyperlinked word, but you don't want that word to turn blue with an underline and have the cursor change to a pointer, and that's pretty obvious. It's like, well, that's definitely a hyperlink. But how did I get this hidden hyperlink right there? And you can see in the corner it goes to a bit.ly, and so I'm going to go ahead and edit the page, and let's see what that is. What code did I use? So I'm going to hop over to the HTML editor, and you can see I have two lines. They just say blah blah blah. You'd put your own content there, and after the third blah and before the fourth blah, you can see I have this hyperlink here, but it's not just the regular hyperlink. So what I did is I wanted to hyperlink the space, and in order to do that I had to write out space. So ampersand NBSP is a non-breaking space, end it with a semicolon, and that's HTML code for an actual space. And normally you don't have to write that down. You don't have to write blah, ampersand, NBSP, you don't need to put breaking spaces in between each word, you just put a space. But in this case, I'm hyperlinking nothing, so you can see the hyperlink right here, and I specifically want there to be a space. And so I'm telling Canvas and the browser to put a space right there. And then I have my hyperlink there. So typically a hyperlink would be an anchor, and then you'd say where you want to go, and then you would close out the anchor. That's the basic tenet of a hyperlink. In this case, I have the class external because I want it to be hidden, and I have some style. So I don't want any text decoration, I don't want any blue words, I don't want any underlines, and I want the cursor specifically to be a text cursor. If you notice my cursor right now, as I hover over the words, that's a text cursor. As I hover away from the words, it turns into a regular cursor. If I hover over something that's hyperlinked, then it turns into a pointer. And there are times when I specifically want my cursor to be a pointer, and in the coming weeks, next week I'm actually going to show you a video where I specifically want my cursor to be a pointer. But today I just want it to be a text. I want it to be hidden. I want everything to be hidden. And then I have where do I want it to go, so there's my code. And then I have target equals underscore blank, and that means that when they click on it, it'll open up in a new tab. I don't want it to replace my current Canvas window with my new link. I want it to open up in a new link. Now if I hop out of here and I take one of these other words right here and I just say I want to hyperlink this video right here. So this YouTube video, I'm going to grab the share code, I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to either hit Control K on the keyboard or in the rich content editor. I can say I want an external link, and then I'm going to put in my code. And the problem with that, if I go ahead and save this, is that it's going to, for one, underline the text, and then when I hover over the text, it changes from one blue color to another blue color, and the cursor changes, and then there's this icon right here with the, I don't know what that is, a browser with an arrow saying that you're going to go to a different browser, a different window, or a different tab. So that's not super hidden. So let's take that content that we have. So now I have two anchors, and right now it says class inline underscore disabled, and I'm going to put class external, and I will even spell external correctly. And so what that's going to do, I go ahead and save that. It's going to remove that one little line right there. The problem is that it knows that it's a video and it's showing a preview of the video. And that's even worse than what we had before. And so what I did to get around that is you can go to tinyurl or bit.ly. I happen to go to bit.ly. These sites are great because I can just drop in my text right there and make a tiny URL. Let's go ahead and hot copy this, and now it's no longer a video. And so by default, Canvas is smart. It knows, oh, you're sharing a YouTube video. Hey, we can make a player for that, and we can make it really easy for students to see the video. In this case, I don't want them to know that it's a video. I just want to have them go to a website and have them look for that website. And so here I am. So now I got rid of that little icon. I got rid of the video preview right there by directing them to a tiny URL. My other one is a bit.ly. It's bit.ly. And now I just want to get rid of that blue text. And so what I did there is I go style, text decoration, none. And so I'll go ahead and copy that code right there, and I'm going to put that in here. Got to close out that quotation mark. Now we're almost there. So now there's no underline, but I can see that it's blue and it's not black. I didn't have to worry about the color when I was hyperlinking the space because there is no color. But in this case, I'm going to want to change that to black, and then I want to do the cursor. So I don't want the cursor to go to a hand. So let's go and go to the HTML editor, and I'm going to copy this now. Cursor text. So I want that to just be a regular text cursor. We're going to be really sneaky. And to change the color, I could go right here to color black if I wanted to, or I can do that in the rich content editor. Just highlight the word. And in reality, it looks like these words aren't actually black. The black kind of stands out. So I'm gonna take this and put the default color. Maybe I'll make all of this the same color. In fact, I'll just change this to whatever color that is. Now go ahead and save it. And so what that does is it gives me a hidden hyperlink. The only indication that one of these could possibly be hyperlinked is if I land on it, and then you can see in the lower left-hand corner, then you can see the link to where the hyperlink would go to. Other than that, this looks like a pretty blank page. So let's put this into some context before I leave you. We're going to go back to the HTML editor, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this hyperlink right here. And then I'm going to replace all of this content with new content. So this is just the default boilerplate page. And what I want to do is take this paragraph, and so if I preview the page, I can see I have an image and I have some text, and it's just kind of an example. But what I want to do is do that same code and hide it somewhere in here. So maybe I'll put it right after job. And so I'm going to hyperlink the space in between job. Now, a quick thing to point out is the hyperlink is for this space right here, and then there's another space after the hyperlink. I want to delete that because I don't want there to be two spaces, just my manual space that I have right there. And so there's a hyperlink, a hidden hyperlink after with the word job, and I can create a scavenger hunt for my students and say, hey, there's something on this page and you have to solve the clues in order to find it, and go ahead and give it a try. And then they can say, okay, so the second row, or however you want to do, you can indicate that after the job comma is a hidden something for you. And when I click on that, then it takes me to my resource, which in this case is a Rickroll, because why wouldn't it be a Rickroll? I mean, what else are you going to look for in a scavenger hunt? What's the greatest reward than being Rickrolled? I think that's the greatest privilege that a teacher can bestow upon their students, is to Rickroll them at least once a semester. So again, that's hidden right in there, and I think it's just a really fun little interaction that you can have some fun with your students. Now, as we go, I'll point out that the video that I was originally sharing with the students in the previous example was a video that I created called How to Create Columns in Canvas. And I'll put the link to that right here. If you want to try an interaction on Canvas where you have 3 columns, like a newsletter or newspaper, then this is a really fun thing that you can try. You have to work with your Canvas admin to get access to the theme editor, but it's really fun. So thanks for joining me today, and until next time.
Happy teaching and learning.